Hello everyone, this is Lawrence. What can I say about the current situation? Coronavirus is spreading and we gotta stay quarantined. I've been keeping myself busy writing little parody lines to songs of the situation. I mean, it's nothing to laugh at, but sometimes humor is a good release valve to relieve the stress. Okay, so please, everyone, I know you know the guidelines they put forth: washing the hands and this and that. I don't have to go down the list, so I hope everyone's following them. Yesterday I made a couple of videos of vinyl records I found at thrift stores, and I wanted to make that video and share them with you before I put the records in my library. And a lot of my videos are those type of videos. If you look at my YouTube page and check out the past videos, a lot of them. But today, before I post the two I made yesterday of thrift store finds, I thought I'd do a video on another aspect of vinyl record collecting or purchasing, and that's newer artists I have found, and I purchased their work on vinyl, like 180 gram. Because I've always had my radar out there looking for newer artists to find. A lot of people my age, who grew up during the classic rock era, at some point they stopped listening to newer artists, new music, and just kind of stick with they grew up with what's familiar to them. But with me, I've always retained the desire to find out what is new, the newer artists, what are newer artists creating. And so, I just can't stick to listening to old Who albums and Led Zeppelin albums. I have to, find out what newer artists are doing. And I know music is kind of a path the trail has been blazed, and what else can be done. I understand that, but I have made a number of wonderful discoveries, and I want to share some of those with you. And I'm going to do another video of newer artists too, but I just pulled some out I wanted to show on this video. Okay, I think this came out in 2011, and a lot of the newer artists I like do have a kind of a retro vibe to their music. They use references, they point the past to create something new, and it's very much with this artist here. And I'm talking about Alabama Shakes, their debut album Boys and Girls, 2011 I think it came out. And when I saw the video Hold On with Brittany Howard, I was sold. And this is a great debut album. Their follow-up album is magnificent as well. A little bit more into the later 70s on that one, where this is kind of Muscle Shoals, late 60s feel. And this even came with a 45 of two songs that were not on the album. My glasses. Heavy Chevy and Pocket Change, which are two very good songs. Bonus 7-inch disc with B-sides and download cards, you know, and a lot of these albums, you know, come with download cards, which is cool because you can put them on your computer and put them on a disc to play in the car. Okay, so that's good. The next album, it was a Sunday morning, and I saw, you know, I was on the computer and I saw a group called the Fleet Foxes. I think it was a Rolling Stone magazine website, and they were featuring their new album, which is their sophomore album called Helplessness Blues. Look at that artwork there, okay? And I listened to it. I would describe their music as influences heavy vocally by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Beach Boys, but there's heavy element of folk and Celtic type of music, where the guitars aren't the main instrument. It's other exotic instrument, windwoods and stuff like that. And the lead singer, I forgot his name, and he is like the front person for the group, has a very gentler side Neil Young vocal style, okay? And the harmonies on this album is incredible. It sounds like it was recorded in a cathedral by angels. And there's not a wasted moment on this album. There's no filler. It's a complete album of where every track is important to the execution of the greatness of the album. I mean, you can listen to it, you know, individual tracks eventually, but when you first hear this album, you should give it a couple of really detailed listens, okay? This is great. Helplessness Blues, 2000, I think, 14 release. They have since did a very satisfying follow-up called Crack Up in 2017. They took a bit of a hiatus and reformed and released Crack Up, which is excellent as well. It's a little bit more different, a little bit more electronic, you know, sounding than folk bass. But anyway, Helplessness Blues by Fleet Foxes. And we're really continuing into the retrospective vibe of new artists. And this would kind of tie in with the first Alabama Shake albums. They would go together. And I'm speaking of Leon Bridges' Coming Home, his debut album there. And he's been really compared to Sam Cooke, the great R&B soul singer from the 60s who we lost tragically. But Leon has this magnificent voice. He writes all his own material, and you know, it's like 1965 all over again, but it doesn't sound stale or dated, and it's beautiful. And there's one track called River, and he made a fantastic video for that song, which I might post as a link when I post this video. Leon has since released a follow-up album called Good Things, and where he brings his sound more into the later 70s, okay? It's an amazing album as well. Great follow-up, and it won a Grammy, one of the tracks did. So be sure to check Leon out. He's just amazing. Okay, continuing on in the retro vibe, um, a group called Tempest. And that's a cool album cover. Look at that. You know, the members are standing around the building as if it was some kind of, you know, it had some kind of magical power with the universe and all that. And I looked up this building here, and there's a history behind it, and it's really old. But Temples is what they would call a neo-psychedelic band. They take that psychedelic sound from the late 60s, early 70s, and gives a kind of a youthful retrospective on it, you know, which is really cool. And it's unreal that this album was recorded in like 2013. I think it came out in 14, okay? Because if you listen to it, except for, you know, using more modern studio, you would have think it was recorded in 1969. This is an amazing album, and if you like the psychedelic music of the 60s, early 70s, then check this album out. The title track, Sun Structure, is sort of like the new song by the classic by Butterfly, in the Garden of Eden, okay? Except it's shorter. Temples went on, and I just happen to have this one in the back, a few years later, tell you where they are now. They did a follow-up album called Volcano. Very cool artwork there. And it was, they took a kind of a different detour with this album, and it's more of a ode to 70s rock that use synthesizers, okay? And it didn't automatically grab me at first, but listen, it caught on. I think it's a great follow-up album. Their new album, Hot Motion, which came out last fall, and it's hanging in the vinyl room on the wall in a vinyl album frame. Hot Motion, they returned back to the psychedelic sound and made an album just almost as good as this one. So to me, they're on a roll. They're not as popular here. They have done small tours here recently, being last winter, and went back to Europe. Of course, the remaining dates of that have been postponed. So, Temples, check them out. Check all these artists out. Their music is available on streaming. This came out last year, early last year, February, and she has really gained recognition in the Americana genre of music, and she was nominated for a Grammy for Best New Artist of the Year, and a few of her songs were nominated. Unfortunately, she did not win for Best New Artist. That one, Billie Eilish, whatever her name is, I'm not a fan of her music. Just don't like it. But I don't want to get a commentary on that. If you do like it, that's fine. Bless you, okay? But Yolo, her album, I think it's her second album. This is absolutely amazing. And her style of singing is, if you took soul music, blended in some country, that's her sound. Yola, she has an amazing voice. The songs are just so catchy. Every one of them will ring in your head after hearing it. Um, the guy who's in the Black Keys, Dan, get my glasses to see his last name. Urabek, if I pronounced his name right, he produced this album and co-wrote many of the songs. So one of my favorite tracks is "Rock Me Gently" because it just it builds and builds. So soul music with a bit of country influences thrown in. Great album. Okay, we're coming toward the end. This is I think a 2014 release. War on Drugs. Great rock band. Elements of folk, rock, Americana. Bit of Neil Young. Kind of atmospheric music in places. And it's not music you want to listen to be happy. It's more reflective, thoughts and all that. And they did a follow-up album, which I also have, called A Deeper Understanding, which is as good as this one. War on Drugs. And the last one, what intrigued me was the album cover for this album release here, and it seemed like all these came out in between 2011 and 2014 or 17. This is artist from Norway, I guess, and Norwegians, I guess that's what they call them. Her name is Aurora, and I just love that album cover. She's wrapped as a moss, and her music is electronic, folk, pop, and there's other things too. So the instruments are very icy, but also warm, and I absolutely love this album, and she has released two more, which I haven't got yet, but I like this one the best. The two other ones, she didn't really market as well. I didn't see them in the stores. And in fact, one of them I don't think was released on vinyl. But there's all kinds of videos of her. She's just very sweet, and you could tell she's from Europe and all that. So those I wanted to show, and I'm going to do more videos on the newer music that I'm into. There's a number of other artists I want to showcase. So please, go on streaming and check some of this out. I might list some songs to check out by each artist in the comment box. And I will definitely post the song by Leon Bridges, the video for the song River, okay? It's very, very moving, the video. So anyway, those are the newer artists, and so I'll be posting my recent thrift store find videos, which I did yesterday, and but again, I wanted to do a spotlight newer artists, that side of my vinyl buying. So anyway, everyone, please stay safe during this very difficult time we're in. We'll get through this, and hopefully, come out more prepared if this ever happens again. I think it will, and we'll be much more prepared for it. Hey, Doesn't kill you, will make you stronger. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave comments. Thumbs up are nice. I love comments. Y'all have a good day, and be safe out there. Bye-bye.